So this is my new to me 1998 Honda Goldwing Valkyrie. It came with Memphis shade windshield, and I just put on these Memphis shade lowers as it had a bunch of wind buffeting at high speed. Um, I also put on self-canceling turn signals and a USB outlet. And my wife loves boards, so I put boards on for her. And I also made like custom tip over protection, which didn't actually work yesterday when my wife and I crashed. I'm trying to kind of see the tip over protection is basically 1-inch steel tube that goes under what I believe are Champion bags. And you can see the raspberry that I've got on the Champion bag that I'm going to have to patch up from our little crash. And I think what I'm going to do is weld on to the maybe a 5-inch piece where the raspberry is to my 1-inch tube steel, so that maybe I'll get a little more protection on the bag in the future. I also got a little raspberry down here on the crash guard for the engine. What happened was really strange to me. I've never really experienced this before, but we were on a little road in North Texas, a country road that I like riding on, called Lois Road. And actually, my wife's name is Lois. And there was a pickup truck blocking our lane because it's a real country road with no traffic. And I guess whoever, the woman driving the pickup truck, must have been doing something on her phone. And there's no shoulders. I believe it's called the tar and chip road surface. And there was a long puddle on the opposite side, which would be the left-hand side of the road if anybody was approaching. But I just swung out around the pickup, probably was going about 10 miles an hour, and went through this puddle. And it turned out the puddle was filled with grease gobulets and stuff. And you can kind of see maybe on the crash bar, like right here on the crash bar, and on the oil filter, that's like crap from the road surface that leached into this puddle. And when I went over to the puddle, it had like these white globulates of grease in them, which I believe was tied up oil that they used to hold the gravel together. And then black stuff, which was from like the oil, the tar surface, kind of similar to the material that they use on black snakes when they repair the roads around here. And probably, I don't know how fast I was going. I'm thinking I was in first gear going like maybe 10. And I cleared the pickup truck and was turning back out of the puddle onto the dry pavement and giving it maybe just a little bit of gas. And I went down so fast that I didn't even know what happened. And I've had the ass end go out on my 1300 VTX. Everything happens much slower with that. I think probably because it's a V-twin with the massive flywheel that goes round and round transaxle. But this guy, I mean, she just handles really, really well, but everything happens fast. Like if you drop her into a turn, she goes into a turn probably as fast as my little street twin, which is got a 26-inch rake, not like these Honda Cruisers with the 32-degree rakes, 26-degree rake. And this guy has a problem with rear wheel traction. It was designed in. It came with these. Was one of the. It's like the first couple that Triumph made, and it's had these retro tires on it. And when the retro tires got worn, it was like you were riding on ice. You know, it just would really let loose. But it was it didn't go out as fast as I found the Valk went out. When the Valk had no traction on the rear wheel, it just like it wanted to put the rear wheel in front of the front wheel. And for me, it just went down. I didn't even expect it. In fact, when I first got the 1300 VTX, I had the same issue with it. The first time I changed the oil on it, the old oil filter, I think it had been there for like 6 years or something like that, because the bike hadn't been run for 6 years. And the O-ring stayed behind on the flange. And then I put the second oil filter in. And the way the old O-ring hung down, it was just open. And I got oil all over the rear tire, and when I got down to the end of my street and went to turn right, she just spun out. But I think with the trans flywheel, it just went down a lot slower, and I was able to, get my foot down and turn the front end, and everything just happens much slower. Going into a turn on this bike. In fact, now riding the Valk, I've been riding the Valk all the time because I'm really trying to get used to it and learn so that I can handle it two up with a lot of gear and go on vacation with it and feel confident at low speed. Well, I hopped on this one after riding the Valk and kind of made a turn and wound up just a little bit wide because it just doesn't dip into a turn as quick as the Valkyrie or the Triumph, So anyway, I'm kind of like wondering, has anybody experienced this deal where they have standing water on a tar and chip road, and it basically gets filled with the top from maybe a relatively newly surfaced tar and chip road, and just has grease and crap in it that it just kind of can get your tires all greasy. And then I guess the other thing that I'm kind of interested in is, am I right? Like if you do hit like black ice or something like that with a Valkyrie, is it going to go down quicker than a V-twin with transaxle flywheel in it? I guess that's kind of all I've got for this thing. I mean, the Valkyrie handles great. I've got the Korean tires on it, and I do run 40 psi in the back and 38 psi in the front. I do that on all my motorcycles, and that has not been a problem on any of them. I guess, what are these tires called again? I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm sure you guys will know Shakiros or something like that. Yeah, I mean, I've never had any indication that the Valkyrie would let loose. I think it just was like a freak situation, but I've only ridden it like 1,200 miles, so who knows? But based on the way Gold Wings are supposed to handle, I would say I just hit a freak situation. I'm going to be real cautious um, as I start going over black snakes in the summer, railroad tracks, and maybe wet road paint and that kind of stuff. But everything I've seen from the Valkyrie so far is it's 100% stable. I think I just hit the black ice situation and just a freak thing. Fortunately, I was going pretty slow because I'm 70 and my wife's 62, and really all we're having to do is Advil rehab. So we did pretty good, but I guess that's what happens when you're going slow. Anyway, that's all I got. Thanks.